Let's talk Caleb Williams today. 19 of 30, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns and interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. Tell me something that was encouraging from Caleb Williams that you saw today, Jim.
Well, I like the student body right play where he ran for a first down and kept the drive going. But, the quarterback sneak, certain situations, he's got to be better. The scramble with whenever it was inaccurate with the pass and he gets an interception. And part of it is he's under a lot of duress. Again, the protection has to be better. He's got to throw on time. He's got a lot of things to learn. In my experiences in learning a new offense, it typically takes 6 to 7 weeks before it's up and running. And I still think the Bears have a long way to go. Yeah. And to me, I'm targeting that Washington game. That Washington game, which should be a highly, really a soft point in the Bears' hearts that kind of derailed last year, that they need to get going. That's really, to me, is the line of demarcation. If they're not making any improvements by that game, then the alarm should go off. Because to me, that's where Caleb and this offense really should start to take off. But yeah, I'm concerned like everybody else. Same mistakes. You got clock management. It kind of disintegrated as the game went along, and Caleb's got to be tighter. But his teammates need to help him. He needs better protection for him to feel secure, like what Jared Goff felt going 23 of 27.
Jim, you just said 6 to 7 weeks, right?
Yes.
Does Chicago have enough patience for that, guys?
Well, it's not about us. It's about if Ben Johnson has enough patience for that, because you see him on the sideline chewing on his cheek, just ready to rip into everybody for the performances that we're seeing. Because a lot of times, like Jim said last week and is saying this week, it's the simple things that the veterans keep messing up on. Drew Dalman is not a rookie player. I understand there's certain things that come into play with a new system, but Drew Dalman is not a rookie center. Jonah Jackson is not a rookie guard in this NFL, and they're the ones that we continue to see make mistakes. And I'll say, listen, as good of a game as Darnell Wright had last week, and I don't know if the PFF numbers will say something different this week, I continue to say I'm not seeing all-pro Darnell Wright. I'm seeing mistakes being made. There's a couple of times in the game where he just gets pushed aside, and Caleb Williams has no shot to get away from it there. Like, as much as you've invested in this line, you got to start seeing some of that production play out. And we're not talking about guys who are learning football at the NFL level this year. These are guys that have made plays in this NFL.
I mean, you want to talk about Caleb and kind of bring this back a little bit full circle. When you talk about the offensive line and Caleb specifically, this is why when I was writing my story a little bit earlier and I was grading the Bears, I gave Caleb an incomplete grade. I don't think you could grade him off a game like this. And I know he had the bad interception. That's the kind of thing you got to say, hey, man, you got to get out of bounds. You got a big arm. You just got to get it past the white line. So it's out of play. You fight another day. That was really the only massive mistake I thought he made today. Yeah. And when I think back to that two-play stretch where they had quarterback sneak on 3rd down, quarterback sneak on 4th down, that's not really his fault that the offensive line didn't get a push right up in the middle. Like you mentioned, Jonah Jackson, Drew Dalman, Joe Tooney, those are not rookie players. Those aren't guys in their 2nd or 3rd years like Darnell Wright is. We're talking about guys that were brought in specifically to give him more time to throw, and he was under duress all day. It felt like we were watching a replay of one of the games last year where he got sacked 4 or 5 times a game, where he was under duress. He could never get into a rhythm, because when I thought this Bears offense got into a rhythm, I thought they moved. Yeah. I thought they moved. They got to midfield. They got Detroit Lions territory. They looked like they knew what they were doing. Ben Johnson, I think, has good calls for those things. But as soon as you hit those penalties, as soon as you hit those moments, I was talking to DeAndre Swift earlier this week when we were in the locker room. I asked him, what do you do to get the run game going? And he said, we got to get less penalties. We got to clean it up. If we don't get things cleaned up, then what are we doing? We don't get any kind of rhythm. We don't get any kind of success going right away, and we move backwards. That kills a drive. And I think if you're in this Bears offense right now, Jim, like you mentioned, it's 6 to 7 weeks to get this going. You have no room for error here. You have no room for error to get this offense off the ground, especially in these early games where you need to have success, especially against teams like next week. You see it up here. Dallas got 37 points in overtime against the Giants. Yeah. Like, if this Bears defense the Bears defense can't stop teams that have good offenses, then the offense has to keep up. And we just haven't seen it because these penalties keep getting them behind the sticks every single time.